time for Nick once again to acknowledge and tell everyone my mistakes. So, welcome back to another video. We're back over at Mike's house over Droitwich Way. The solar panels, which you can hear Matt doing now. I left the house super early. I left the house at 6:20 because I wanted to beat the traffic. M6 to M5, hideous junction, loads of traffic. Yesterday, I sat in it for a good 25 minutes. If I'd left 10 minutes earlier, no problem, which I did today. So I got here bright and early before everyone else, about 7:25-ish. So Matt was still a while because he had to go and pick Joe up. So I moved all the tiles because we've got 2 last rails to go in. There's 16 hooks left to do and 16 tiles to grind. So I thought, I'll be quiet, I'll go up there. Obviously, we already removed all the tiles yesterday. So I just marked them with a red X, took them out, put them to the side, put the brackets in, took the rails up, unpackaged the solar panels, which are just over there, them absolute gorgeous matte black, well, I say matte black, they're black ones. But my job right now as of this morning is I've got to do the board. You've seen me do this before, but I'm going to do this a little bit of a different way for the customer, to show you guys and also to try it out. Like I said in the last video, the scam matching isolators. So we've got 2 lots of fireboard that the customer had. We've got ISO, so we're going to be isolating that in a little bit. We've got customers got a Henley block there that we're going to chuck in because we want to separate the solar board completely away from the main board and completely away from the massive generator switchover, which is over there, because this place apparently is very prone to power cuts in around the area, so hence the generator. So I'm going to put it up here, mark it out. I've got my 2 sets of strings, I've got my top, I've got my bottom. I'm going to come down, I'm going to do rear entry in the board. That's the purpose of doing this. Bring the board down, drop the cables down with the strings from the isolator. Our AC isolator, we've got some height of HO7 that we're going to put on the plug. There's going to be a stuffing gland out the bottom, plugged into the side, because all of our controls for our EcoFlow are there. And then I'm going to run a cat cable, which is down here, across to do hardwired internet for the first time. But the way these are set up, it is through Wi-Fi, I think that's what Matt said. And then we're just going to plug a LAN cable directly in from the switch. I think there's a switch in there or something. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I've not got my neck mount again, like from the last video. I left it in the job in Stoke, which I'm back at on Friday doing some soffit lights. So we'll pick it up then. But for now, I'll stick it on a little magnet and we'll jump on here. So, because I'm doing rear entry, we all love a bit of rear entry. I know that I'm putting fire grommets here within the plastic enclosure, but I'm not doing anything to grip the cables because one, it's going to be clipped to the wall and clipped to the wall down, so I'm not concerned that someone's going to pulling it out of the isolator or the fuse board. But I'm going to put these in. So this is a 25mm one, but what I'll do is 25mm one, bang this into the board, and the 20mm ones for the stuff into the isolators. But then in the wood, what I'm going to do is let's say, for the 25mm one here, I'm going to do a 32mm bit, so it's nice recess behind so the cable can go in and out. I mean, equally, because I'm only spacing them off with what is tiny little cleats instead of using loads of metal bushing couplers and stacking up loads and loads of washers, is for the distance of that, is when I do it through the wood, is also chamfer through the holes with the direction of the cables going in, so it's not a silly, horrible tight bend behind. It does flow a little bit. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. I'm trying to record this in and out of them grinding cables, but cables, they're not grinding. I hope they're not grinding cables. I've just put them in the tiles, so just so you know. Get this perfect as well, I'll say this out loud, is I've marked out level and then just put some screws in just to put the wood on. Obviously, because it's 2 pieces of wood, I'd like to say I'd have the one, but this is what was here and this is what the customer wanted. So I brought it off a little bit from here, so when we put the Henley blocks in a bit, I can sweep and tuck it under the board rather than cut some holes to access it. So yeah, let's get it on, let's get it drilled. Everything's screwed, everything's plugged. What I've done with the Fisher plugs is put them in the, hammer them in the wall. I didn't film myself using my forehead to smash the plugs in, I'm very sorry. But literally just put the screw in, tap it in a little bit, because we're using plain shafted screws. No, to be fair, with the wood and the board and the cleat and everything. So I'm gonna get these ones on. I've got our 2 strings to come down to pop out into the isolators. I've gone around and put the fire plugs in, like I say, just to grip it a little bit. Put little slits in with the Stanley knife just for entry. For that, wonderful. These are still labelled. I might actually have to slip the labels down because they're going to be within the enclosure. They're going to be behind, and then pull a little bit of slack back up so I can dress them afterwards. But I'm going to get this on, pull back up the slack, dress what we need, and then we're going to have more than enough excess just to make off down the MC4 connectors into the battery storage, into the inverter. The board has got the 5 grommets in. I've put the tails already in just because I know they're going to be a pain. And then from that as well, I put this one in for the 6mm to pop down to the isolator. That's going to be a 6mm twin. And then this one down here, I'm going to bring out. Normally it would be a 6mm to drop down and to earth the battery storage, but we've only got 10mm on us, so we can do 10mm with a lug. And just put that there just to slip down. So let's get this on and I will shut up. Because it is Black Friday today, for you anyway, Bluetti got in contact with me. You've seen me use this before. This is the AC200 Max. We love it. We've used it for years. Rewires, putting routers on in people's houses for EICRs, charging batteries, all that lovely stuff. And also, as well, what people don't realise, you've got wireless phone charging directly on the top. Very cool, very nice. They got in contact and sent me the B300K, which is an additional battery storage that adds together. I'll put on a picture on the screen, and you can link loads of these together through the links and put it all into one unit, so you up the power. This has got an additional 2,764.8 watt-hours worth of storage in it. Link them all together, so you can obviously use this as a portable one like I do, taken to work, or you can use this as a home backup sort of thing with a huge amount of power if you add them all together. My discount code, I'm pretty sure, is Bluetti NBE, think Bundy Electrical, that's right. I'll put all the different stuff for it in the description below and pin top comment, which gives you 5% off, I think it is. If you haven't seen this one before, you've got 4 240 volt outputs, USB-A, USB-A, USB-C at 100 watts, 100 watts for USB-C, and then 3 12 volt outputs. And then again, on the side, you can do the solar charging as well. So go and check out the stuff below. Oh, we're getting somewhere. What I've just rejigged before I screw it all back. Obviously, I've done this. The solar cables are coming straight down and the earth was fine, but as and when I stick the tails and the earth coming across, they're going to overlap themselves going through the board. So I've pulled them back up and I've tucked them around the edge perimeter of the board that lap back round onto here. So we've got no overcrossing cables. And then with the bottom ones, the strings come out the bottom to the MC4 connectors, no overcrossing again. So that's, I'd rather explain it to you guys. So I'm going to push these in now, get this screw back, and then pull back, retighten all the stuff that goes up there because I've left it a bit looser with all the cables, and it's come off the beam. That's stuff I've done yesterday, but once I've got where I want and got everything in place, I can then start working myself back from the top, drilling some of the red brick and then cable stapling the rest down to make it nice and secure. Whoa, Nick's going over the top as usual, but it looks good. Time for Nick once again to acknowledge and tell everyone my mistakes. So, from the start, Matt's just come down and had a look. I wish, he just said he should have told me there was 2 DC isolators going in. But when I turned around and opened the isolators up, I must have instantly mixed the bases up. because I saw the 2-pole isolator there, made sense for that. I knew there was 2 sets of strings going in, and I saw the isolator inside, as in set up for 2 strings. You've got 4 different poles that isolate, which makes sense for 2 different strings. But Matt, because Matt never said to me there needs 2 DC isolators in it, I've set this up to this to be in perfect line, and this is the DC isolator, hence the missing earth blocks here. But he did just say to me, you know, we need the other one in, and I said, yeah, not an issue, because that will slip in and stay there, and I can drill it. It's not too much of an issue. And then Mike's just come around and said to my customer, you know, I've just done this. And I know he's going to watch this, and I know he's probably going to go, no, it's fine, whatever. I said to him, you know, it's going to take me another hour now to mess around with this, and I can just put it here. And I know deep down in his heart that he was severely disappointed in me. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. Pull these off, which is only going to take a minute. Just re-drill the back quickly, pop this on, get this central, get it looking sweet, because there's no point for me to go in all this effort to make it look as nice as I can without wasting too much time to then fumble it right at the end and miss an open goal. See, I don't watch football, but I feel like that was a really good football reference for people out there that watch football. Like, you've got the... It's not an acronym, is it? Whatever. I'm just going to switch this over so you can see what I mean. But yeah, my mistake. I'm obviously not paying attention, and you know, if Matt gave me all the information I needed to start with, then it wouldn't be an issue. But that's fine. Don't worry about it, Matt. If you... Yeah, boom. Look at that. So with the with them, the DC isolators are a bit funny. So I tried to do a normal crimp to start with. It didn't work. I ended up having to get some of these to allow it to go in. I know which ones are which. They're coming down. They're taped off here. They're not connected. They won't be connected. Ferrules. We've got the HO7 in, done, connected, linked through. I've put these screws in here to hold the cables. The cables are not whatsoever touching the thread. I wish I'd shown you this before, but in case you think, oh, they're touching it, I put some grey heat shrink around it. Let me see if I can, hang on. Can you see the grey heat shrink on it? You can't see the threads? Anyway, that was just me just wasting time as usual. That's all done. I'm gonna jump on the roof now, have a look what they're doing, give them a hand with the panels. I've already took 5 up while they all just stood and watched me. Right, we're up here, ignore the red, pink lips. Been licking my lips all day, I refuse to put my hoodie back on. Top row panels is done. They need to be cut short at the end. I've just brought some more up for everyone else. You know what I'm saying? So that's going on, but because we're doing the butt panels, no, they're not called the butt panels. The joint connector things, which are these, is obviously these can go on the end, singular, or if they turn them sideways like that, they go in the middle between the two. So you can't quite see, but obviously in between the 2 panels there. So I can only understand with this bit, it's the annoying part, you can't tighten it down properly because you need to then slip the other panel in to back it down. So I brought one of the sucker pads up. I can use my long ape arms to sort of hold it in place. And let's see how many of these we can chuck on before it goes dark. This is where we're at right now. We've got 2 rows done, all hunky-dory, all in line. I just thought I'd show you how I've been connecting it up, but I'm not gonna do it and film it of me walking up there one-handed, because the other hand has got a camera in it, and that is dangerous. I reckon I could do it, but I'm not gonna show you guys. Oh yes, I need 2 hands for this. And this is a little method I've found. I can pick it up with my left arm, hold it like this, and then I literally, Joe, ready? I just throw it to him. I have to put the camera down to do this. Right, yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, if you just turned to, I thought you did, I was about to say, whoa! You can see how dark it is, but we've just had both of the MTB 10,000s up. Matt is very impressed, everyone's impressed. Yeah. I'm even impressed with how good it was. So the panels are all done. I'll put a little picture of the screen now of Matt with his little lights on. We've got a pack up here, what are we now? 20 to 6. This is where we're sitting with the isolators. Obviously everything's unplugged and everything. All beautiful and perfectly symmetrical and in line and everything. Don't worry about it. So I can crack on with that tomorrow. But the panels are all done. I'm meant to be here for 4 days, but realistically, it's my last day tomorrow. So make sure you make a cake. Just gonna pack all this stuff up and get on our way home. Oh yeah, you did bring cakes earlier. I brought cakes earlier. Yeah, they weren't. Unfortunately, they've got nuts on them, but I did. What did I have? The cinnamon roll? Yeah, you had the I've just lost my van keys, but they're in the van vault. Grab my camera. Oh, and it's recording. Oh, right. Well, we might as well leave it there. See you tomorrow, guys. Say bye, Mike. Love you, bye. Love you, bye, Matt. Matt. Josh. Yeah, Josh. Oh, his name's not Josh. It's Joe.